Hi guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of Total War Arena, or Total War Arena News. As we are back to taking a bit of a look at the upcoming 3.1.6 patch and what is going to be changing. It's not going to be a particularly long video because there isn't very much really changing. But what's being added, the only sort of real main thing that's being added into the game in terms of content is the commander skins. The idea being that there's now going to be a couple of skins available for all of the starting commanders, Cardano, Vercingetorix, and Arminius. That's no bad thing necessarily. I know some people will probably feel that adding in skins when there's so much gameplay content that still needs to be dealt with is kind of a waste of time. And I kind of get that, I do get that. But at the same time, I would rather they were adding in things like commander skins rather than adding in overpowered premium units. So at least there is no repercussions in terms of gameplay for adding in commander skins. So I think that's kind of a good thing. I'll post a link to the patch notes down below and you can view all the commander skins nice and easily on there. I don't really like very many of them. The only sort of ones I kind of like are Arminius's ones. Maybe the younger Vercingetorix is okay, but I'm not a fan of Kanane. I don't think that looks particularly great for me, not my personal taste. So what else is changing? So there's been a bit of a balancing going on with the silver economy. So I think this is something that's kind of been talked about a bit on Reddit quite a bit before, quite a bit previously. But it's never been dealt with. I think they were trying to gather plenty of data before they made any changes. And they finally decided that it's time to make a few changes to how things work. So firstly, it's consumable costs. I think they decided that at tier 7, with tier 7 being the first tier where you get access to 2 consumables instead of 1, like you do, you know, from tiers 1 to 6 you only get access to 1 consumable, but at tier 7 you get access to 2. And that was kind of ramping up the cost of joining tier 7 to be quite expensive, particularly when the consumables were over 1,000 silver each. You know, so it was like 2,400 silver per unit over 3 units. You know, you're spending nearly 10,000 on consumables, and that was resulting in every time you made a loss in a battle, then you would make a loss in terms of silver. So yeah, so that wasn't very popular. So what they've done is basically reduced the cost of the consumables down to a much more reasonable level. It's not a massive saving by any means, but it's enough to make it a worthwhile difference. You know, you're not going to be taking quite such losses over the long run. Other than that, they then have been making adjustments to the replenishment costs for each different unit class. So apparently kind of how it works is that your silver costs are based on different unit types. So archers have a fixed replenishment rate, infantry have a fixed replenishment rate, cavalry have a fixed replenishment rate, and then that is then in turn adjusted slightly depending on the unit, where some units, specific unit types do better than others. But that didn't take into account a handful of things. One, I think they decided it was a little bit too expensive anyway, and they wanted to reduce the cost of that. And it didn't take into account things like, it just had infantry rather than falxmen, swordsmen, spearmen. And they pointed out that things from the data were showing that falxmen obviously being a lot less armoured, probably a bit more of a glass cannon, as we showed in one of my earlier videos, you know, take quite considerably more casualties than, say, spearmen, which are very well armoured, very careful, you know, in their phalanx, in their hoplite phalanx, you know, a lot more stronger and taking less casualties, so therefore having lower replenishment costs. So they're changing that. Breaking them down into individual casualties, and I mean, I've just got the table in front of me. Broadly, things like sword cavalry is going to be 9% cheaper, war dogs 8% cheaper, falxers 13% cheaper. The only thing that's getting more expensive are elephants, which are going up by 15% on the replenishment cost. So you're not going to be making quite so much money from your elephants now. Yeah, it's just kind of the way they've changed it. They've obviously based this on the data they collect from the game at the time, and it's kind of fine. Nothing there really strikes me as being anything particularly bad. I don't play war elephants often enough for it to be a problem. A little bit of a shame. I wonder what impact that will have on Melkwart, the tier 7 premium elephant, on still being an effective moneymaker. But there's probably no replenishment cost at all, is there? Because it's a premium. That was a stupid comment. Okay, ignore me. Carrying on. What else is there? The only other thing they seem to have changed is the UI slightly. They've added on a recently played with list. I think that kind of means it's just like, you know, if you're recently playing battle with some of your friends, you can find them easier. I mean, it's no bad change, I don't suppose, but I mean, to some extent, I thought that was kind of the point of the friends list. I guess if you have a really busy friends list, like I sometimes do, when I'm adding all of your replays for Battles of the Week and stuff, then I have quite a busy friend list. So maybe actually I'll start to enjoy it as a feature, but nothing really much. Other than that, it's just a handful of bug fixes and stuff that they're changing. Nothing particularly dramatic. Yeah, and all in all, a bit of a disappointing patch in some sense, to be honest. Not really a great deal has changed, considering that the patch got delayed. You know, it's been quite a few weeks waiting for it, and all we've sort of got is a few commander skins and a bit of a silver rebalancing, which is fine. You know, I'm sure they're working on things as well at the back end, but it would have been nice perhaps to see a little bit more content. But still, I guess that's kind of what we'd have to expect with these sort of regular but small patches. I guess that was the idea. Hopefully, sooner or later, we'll get to hear out some more information about some of the new factions that are hopefully going to be coming, because that's what I would like to see. So other than that, that's really all there is to say about patch 3.1.6. Nothing else massive is changing. I think we are expecting release day to be Friday, which will probably be when this video comes out. So the patch may already be out now. You may be downloading it currently or waiting for the servers to come back online. I'm having a terrible time with these horses here. I couldn't get away from them to throw my javelins in. I had one unit kept getting caught in the fight. Yeah, so that's probably going to be coming out on Friday, so that's what we can expect from that. And that is really all there is to say about the 3.1.6 patch. We'll hang on probably to the end of this battle. I don't think there's anything exciting. I think it goes to bad for worse for me here. I just couldn't get this last stupid horseman. Continuing to take my casualties, my poor javelins. I'm continuing to grind up the javelin line. I want to get these guys up to the tier 8s, which look pretty cool as well. I do really enjoy playing them. The penetration damage they have is just so awesome. Just makes them so effective. I was a bit nervous about these tier 8 Romans who were coming for me. Doesn't look like our Falconsmen are having a particularly fun time of it either. And they're being chased around by some Carthaginians. Oh dear, and they've got cavalry all over them. Well, I'm getting some peelers thrown at me, which is not exactly what I want. I was kind of a bit stuck in this situation because obviously they've got all that, so got their testudos on, which means they get a really good missile block chance, which should exceed their 100, which it does. Thankfully, I managed to clip that horse with a javelin before he reached into me. Yes, it means that until they come out of testudo, I can't actually do any damage to them, which is kind of frustrating. I think I follow them on. Let's flick into a bit of fast forward. Oh, no more cavalry. Oh, dear. Well, as you can see by this point, I was having a fairly miserable game. I only intended to use this just as a backdrop replay, though, to the patch notes. I managed to get away with a handful of people. I don't think it's going to do me many favours, though. Oh, we're being capped out now as well. Oh, a few friendly cavalry. I might just be able to get on the edge to get a couple of javelins into these guys. Maybe if they get into a fight with the Falconsmen, which they do. Goes to show how much damage potential these guys have. Just a few sort of decimated 9% and 4% were still able to rack up 6,000 or 7,000 damage on this guy. Just standing at the end with that handful of units. 10,000. Pretty good. That's why I always think javelins are so impressive. You're never really out of the fight. You can always apply quite a bit of damage. But unfortunately they then go into testudo. And I'm never going to be able to get back to our base capture in time because I can't get through the camp because they're blocking me in. So hopefully that gives you an idea, a bit of an idea anyway, of what's coming up in the 3.1.6 patch notes. Sorry, there's not really much more to talk about, but there's not really much more to talk about. Hopefully you've liked the video. It gives you a bit of an idea what's going on with the game. People seem to quite like these sort of news videos, informing them about sort of the latest changes. I sometimes try and get it from the dev blogs and the live streams that they do as well, but I missed the live stream, so it meant I couldn't really catch up. So yeah, hopefully still enjoyable. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below about the changes in this patch. Yeah, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for lots more Total War Arena content. And thanks guys, I shall be seeing you all on the next video.